Now, the rest of the story.
That's one thing I need in the 79 and the 82. I need the camera. I'm hoping to stick with Halo View, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm hoping that I can tune multiple monitors into one specific camera. So like when I'm hooking the Easy Trail wagon up to any of the 3 tractors, I'll have my camera, because the plan is to use the 7920 on the Easy Trail this fall, and I will be putting a monitor in it. That monitor with one camera, stick it into the box so I can actually see how much grain I got, is huge. But I can't tell you how many times having a camera pointed right out the back has saved me from getting in accidents, or at least knowing that there's somebody behind me that's fixing to pass me. But we just got the bench is just about done on the valley. That's what I'm finishing up right now. We have a little bit of a spring right there, but otherwise, even the other low-lying areas like that where I got stuck with the 76, the only spot on it that's still got any water in it are the ruts that I left with the 76 when I got it out. So it's dry, yes. I'm sick. If you guys can't tell from my voice, I feel absolutely terrible. Pretty much got to force myself to do anything this last few days, which is kind of unfortunate when my health kind of went down on me when I came down to cut this, and basically every day we've been down here trying to work on it. It just, I don't know if it's a sore throat or a cold or the flu or what, but just getting this hay made down here is a big relief to me. Not much of any rain in the forecast. I had one phone call already, just because I have a history of selling hay, and people know that. And I was contacted probably a week ago. Oh yeah, because I just cut it. I was contacted on Monday. I cut the stuff on Sunday, taking everything up there. I just turned the camera on because it seems like everybody likes the hills. And if you look really hard, there's Ryan back in the back. He's working on the bottom already. Dad's running around with the deer steer, collecting bales and stacking them into groups. Dad isn't going to be here very long because he has to get going. Well, he's got to be leaving here in about 50 minutes, actually. And it just made sense. We have Kevin and Dale are fixing to come and help haul this hay in, and I know they both were willing to come and help haul in today, but I meant to bale yesterday, but the weather and the smoke, I'm sure it's the smoke from Canada. Say, not trying to complain about, you know, Tyson or anybody up there. It's just, we've had that back, what, 3 years ago now, 4 years ago. It was later in the year. Oh, don't you just love robocalls? Interrupt my video for nothing. So yeah, I'm using my camera. I would have preferred to use my GoPro on my stand there and sit and kind of BS with you guys a little bit. I walked out of the house without it because my day started with a phone call saying, hey, you got a couple cows out, to finding out that no, I had all the cows out. So that was going from, I'd say I was about a -20 to 100 miles an hour just that quick. But not really how I would have liked to start my day. We would have been down here baling probably an hour sooner. But it's light. I only got 26 bales. Ryan, I think he had more than me. He probably had about 30. So we probably had about 50 bales off of the bench here. It did just occur to me, there's Ryan again. It did just occur to me though, this farm hasn't had any nitrogen in over a year now, because I spread my dry fertilizer last year before first cut. Had an amazing first crop, and because of the nitrogen prices last year, I just simply, there was no justifying it, putting a bunch more inputs down here. So I came down with the foliar, I sprayed radiate, excuse me, and I tried to go that route. And I am in the mindset right now where I would like to, at the very least, spray the bottom, because there's moisture there. That stuff is going to come back. It might not be a, bumper crop, but as of right now, if I'm looking at selling part of the hay I'm producing, which might seem kind of crazy if we're dry, and I get that. I need cow feed, which I'm not selling everything down here, so I am kind of watching my feed usage too at home. But if it comes right down to it, if I didn't keep enough feed back, or if I don't get much of a second or third cutting, I'm not exactly married to all those cows, to where I would probably call out some of the older group, the older cows. So I know my bulls are working. I put the bulls in yesterday, and I went and checked them last night, and at least those 2 yearling red ones that I got, they were working, if you know what I mean. So they were jumping. I was really happy to see that, and I have approximately 50 head. I'm gonna go back over here because I know I got some along the hill there that I just as soon Ryan doesn't try to get because it's tight. But then, excuse me, my throat is just killing me. Anyway, with all the cows I got so far, sorry. But with all the cows I have so far, if I had to ship some down the road, I could honestly see me loading up all of my, all the black cows, the black Angus. I could see loading up all my cows and heifers and using that as an excuse, to basically have a purely red herd. And if cattle prices stay high like they are and like they're projecting, to be completely honest with you, I don't think it's really going to hurt me either if I sell a few cows and, eliminate some debt. It wouldn't be so bad either. So we're just going day by day right now. I'd kind of be happy to get done. A lot of hay Ryan missed. I'd be happy to get this done down here and not have to worry about it for a while. If you guys are wondering where the water line is when it flooded down here, there's a line of corn residue all along that hillside, all the way that way. So I'll catch up with you a little bit here when we get further towards the end of the day. I don't think we're going to get it all done, but 2 o'clock, all depends on how late we can run. Well, I guess we're moving right along, and a lot of that's just because it's not yielding the best. The lower side of the lower bottom was probably the heaviest. So we got both balers that dropped in down here. I think the name of the game right now is pretty much to finish it. We still got, we're over 2/3. When we get this section, the bottom, or we get the bottom done, just go ahead and say that. We'll be 2/3 of the way done, and we'll have 1/3 of the farm left to bale, but the neighbor's place, I'm figuring for the way that looks and the way it cut, Ryan did a nice job of raking it up, but I'm feeling pretty confident that's just going to hit the baler pickup and then just disintegrate. So everything that's over there, I'm planning on taking home and stacking up for feed. And everything over here, over the years, it's been, you know, an up and down topic of should I bale it, should I cut it, burn it? Well, if the ground keeps drying out like it is, where there's water standing up there, in the past, on wetter years than this, quite honestly, it's dried up to where I can get across it and cut it or brush mow it or whatever. And if things are going to stay as dry as it is, I'll make which is tedious, I know, I'll make a special trip down here with a mower, maybe the New Holland rake, and a baler, and I'll get all that made. Even if it's got that swamp grass in it, I'll just take that directly home and set it aside for cow feed. So here's the issue I'm dealing with, which is nothing against Ryan, but it's a big reason why I'm always the one that runs this baler. I'm putting on 4.1 wraps. Wrapping has started. It won't tell me if it's done. It doesn't tell me to eject. I got a bad sensor back there. I got some wires that look kind of sketchy. But what I've been doing, which is, you know, the definition of farmer fixing, is how long can I run something wrong? See, so even though it says wrapping has started, it's done. It's already wrapped. I can dump it out. I'll reset the monitor and I'll keep baling. I am very much one of those individuals where if I can get you to work to get the current job at hand done, you can bet I'm gonna make you work. So the issues, I remember it from last year, but we got done baling with this baler last year. I hit it with the air hose and cleaned it off. I backed it in the shed and forgot about it. So this thing's only been out of the shed for about 5 hours now. So we serviced it and everything and changed the chain, but if you can see, this wire is frayed. This is actually a fix from last year. That was all frayed. I'm thinking that's my stinking problem, because you hear, unless my actuator in general is just junk, which I wouldn't rule it out. You know, I also got a sensor down in here, which I know my fingers probably, but you see this? It's hitting a sensor. Things are popping and banging and clanging, and you know, if I wasn't currently laser eye focused on getting done down here, like baling everything, because even if it does get later and darker, the neighbor's place, we can bale that even if it is starting to get dark, because as far as I'm concerned, it's gonna be for my cows. I don't want to make a bunch of crud or junk, but the name of the game right now is to get this stuff baled, get it hauled in tomorrow, and then get everything moved home. I'd like to put fertilizer down and foliar spray it, but gotta see where we end up on bales and what inputs are actually sitting at, because everything down here, I think I can at least produce one more decent crop. Everything on the hill, the weather's got to change and start showing signs of rain. So I'm gonna keep moving. All right, this is how I ended my day down here. So, yep. Uh-oh is not a word we like to hear around these farms. Oh, a little bale. Not little, it's still a 60-inch bale, so we didn't do too bad. The tire fell off. Well, the lug bolts all snapped off. dropped it back here, and this is my reaction time with the wife and kids in the tractor with me, which that was pretty much instant hitting the clutch, and that's just sliding to a stop and everything too. I guess I never did go back and look for the hardware, but I just got back. Didn't take me very long to actually pick it up, but the rim is up in the truck. I'm gonna replace the rim because I have to. I'm gonna put the deer rims back on it because I think the excuse me these rims weren't the ones that were supposed to be on them in the first place, and I think that's part of my problem, to the point where I think that side's going to do the same thing. It's putting too much pressure on the lug bolts. So whatever, life of a farmer. I'm more irked about how light this is yielding down here. I think I'm at what, 64, but granted Ryan has baled a lot more than I have, so Ryan tends to get the gravy running for the most part, and then I get to do all the hills and the turning. So I know I really do like that 569, but the pickup tried to eat itself on that. I think we lost 4 teeth on it, that they just came loose, broke off, and just raised havoc on the pickup. Today is Friday. This happened at 6 o'clock after the dealership is closed. I can call them in the morning and see about getting the new hub. One of the bearings, the outer bearing, was actually starting to show signs of failure anyway. So once it's all said and done, if I fix it how I'm planning on fixing it, it's probably a $1,000 fix. Because I'm not just looking at this side, I'm figuring I might as well do the other side. It's same like with the disc bind. Bearings, wheel bearings went out last year. We just replaced them both, and these are original bearings, as far as I can tell, that are on this baler. So I want to go through and just fix it right. Granted, this has turned into more of a backup, a secondary baler, but at the same time, I want to know that I can go hook up to it with confidence and not grind my teeth that you're not sure what's gonna fail on it. So I got to go through and go through both balers. We got fence to make. I got to try to figure out if I'm gonna spray nitrogen and all my goodies down here. Trash to pick up. We got scrap metal to pick up. We got posts to replace. We got some more hay to make. Granted, more water waste stuff, you know, because of how everything's yielding. If you can make it at this point, especially with the outlook of the weather, you should really be trying to make it. I'm still standing in full confidence that I can at least get one more cutting off the bottom, because that's, I mean, water is literally just right under the surface, and I want to come back down, and I am cutting that extra 5 acres down there as soon as it dries out, and it is starting to. But as far as the bales that we're getting, I mean, I dropped that one out because I had a 60-inch bale in here, so I picked it up and was able to, with the blocks and everything holding it up, was able to get this dropped out. I mean, I don't want to just dump it out without any wrap on it, because that's a waste, but it is some good looking stuff. Granted, it gave me a lot of headaches trying to get it to this point. We cut it on Sunday, and we tedded it, we raked it, and we baled it. So figure that out. I was able to get this picked up on my own. I didn't talk or show or set the camera up while I did that, because that was actually pretty sketchy, to the point where, well, I wasn't about to put that online, because I don't think anybody would have been impressed with me. So this is the stuff I'm planning on keeping for feed. Everything from here on over, it's a different type of grass. I don't think it'll sell as well. In the past, it generally hasn't, just because of what it is. It's really fine. The only downside I see to that is when it's that finer material, the cattle tend to go through it a little bit quicker. And then once again, this place isn't yielding very well. So last year we had 438 bales off first cut down here. As of about 3 o'clock today, I was really concerned if we were even going to hit 200. So 64 bales on this counter. Brian was over 100 bales a while ago, so 200, 250. I mean, I think 300 is just completely unrealistic at this point. So we'll get this guy. 76 is married to the baler. It's gonna sit here for a couple days just to make sure that this thing doesn't go for a ride. I can have that fixed in the span of 15 minutes and we'll get her home. They're not calling for rain, so I'm not worried about that, because all the dirt and the dust and the residue, I don't like that getting caked on to the balers. So, all right, that's it. This is Valley Hay baling. See if I can't get something put together for tomorrow with hauling everything in, because we got, as of right now, I think Dad, Kevin, Dale, and me are gonna haul everything in, and then I'm actually probably gonna go pull Ryan off the baler and just call it a night. He can finish it in the morning. So he's maybe got 15 bales left. Do it in the morning. They're calling for what's less than a 0% chance of rain. Well, in most years I'd say that's probably a pretty good chance of rain, but we're in a dry spell. Anyway, I'm gonna talk to you later.